Bless you, my children. Greetings. Yes, it's me. It's me. It's not a medieval monk, as you might think. Yes, greetings one and all. I couldn't keep that up for long, could I? Just trying to cover my dodgy hair. Greetings one and all. Welcome, welcome, welcome once again to Edra Scrolls. Edra Scrolls. Diary. Not diary. We'll edit this bit out, it doesn't matter. Welcome, one and all. Greetings. It's Edra Scrolls. It's Edra Tales YouTube channel, but we're live on Twitch. And there's me only fast asleep 20 minutes ago. What could possibly go wrong? Yes, it is Edra Scrolls, Ramblings of a Storyteller. I'm the storyteller, Ken Boyter, but you probably already know that because you love watching the Edra Tales live streams on Twitch. But we also pump them out over to the Edra Tales YouTube channel. So if you do miss an episode, you will find it there. Good morning, Martha. I'm not late for once. Well, technically, Martha, I was a minute late. So, yes. But, yeah, I'll take that. We'll go with that, Martha. Yes, exactly. It's because I've found God. I found God. This is Grocklesnook. You may not know. Grocklesnook is the imp in the bottled imp. This is our YouTube channel. Julian and myself created a YouTube channel all so many years ago. We do fantasy board game reviews, fantasy book reviews, and fantasy film reviews. Although we're finding it's difficult for us to find time to do those now, but we do have over 450 episodes. So if you want to check them out, check them out. Good morning, Sally. I was just halfway through listening to your voice note. So it's a pleasure to see you here, that you managed to make time for me. No, enjoy your morning, Sally. Of course you should go and visit friends. Visit friends? Visit friends? Yes, we are. It's another Saturday. Another Saturday's roll round. I have some honeyed tea. It should be mead, really, shouldn't it? There we go. Should be mead. Look at that. Should I keep that on? That's quite cool, isn't it? Keeping that on. Although it looks cool, but I'm not a big fan of this in my vision. It kind of, you feel vulnerable. It's just a fleeting visit. Yes, I thought it would be. And quite frankly, you know, they're the best kind. I was going to be really mean then. Why am I being mean? I'm a monk. I'm a brother. I'm a bro. No, and it's probably not historically accurate if I bring no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing this. Maybe not. Maybe you just think, Ken, that's his normal craziness. No, I'm wearing it because two things. One, in my next murder mystery next weekend, the evening dinner. So it's a full weekend one. We do an afternoon, we do an evening, and then we do a morning after breakfast the next day. The evening of that weekend is fancy dress. Not all murder mystery, not all of the Killing Games murder mysteries are fancy dress, but this plot just happens to be a fancy dress. Every now and again they'll do a fancy dress one, and the actual fancy dress theme is detectives. Yeah, it's detectives. So I have a guess which detective I've gone for. Now, if you're from another country, you may not have had the books, so you might not be able to guess. Sally already knows, so she's barred from guessing. So if anyone can guess what detective I am, Sherlock Holmes, Martha. Oh, I guess Sherlock Holmes does go in disguise, doesn't he? Good morning, Lee Rin. Oh, Jonathan. Good morning, Jonathan. Yes, exactly. It is Brother Cadfile. Well done, Jonathan. Of course, I knew one of you would guess it very quickly because you're all very clever people and learned people. Sherlock Holmes does go undercover, though, doesn't he? He's a master of disguise as well, so I guess you could go from that angle. Lee Rins put, good evening, ladies and gents. Oh, Yeah, a how to host a murder live action role play session is In the Name of the Rose. Yes, exactly. As soon as I said which character I am, I thought, oh yeah, I could be In the Name of the Rose. But no, Jonathan, it is Brother Cadfael, because I remember as a kid, yeah, because they adapted them for television as well. So there are a series of books by Ellis Peters, and I remember seeing one or two of them on telly and quite enjoying them. But I never, we didn't have playback. We didn't have, it wasn't on demand. If you missed it, you missed it, unless you recorded them. And I remember really liking them. My mum used to watch them as well. And then when it was like, what theme should we do for, it's detectives, then I just thought, yeah, what do I want to do? Of course, something medieval. Brother Cadfael. Jonathan, I love those books. Oh, so you read the books. I read a lot of them when I was a teenager. Oh, fantastic. William of Baskerville, The Name of the Rose. Oh, is that who he is? Ah. Yeah, Name of the Rose is brilliant. I really enjoyed that film. At the time, I bought the Name of the Rose book for my then girlfriend. Shh, cover your eyes, Sally. Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes. You can tell I've only just woken up. Cover your eyes, Sally. I'm going to say something you won't want to hear. And I'm too young and exhausted for the shenanigans. Good for you, Martha. Bring some decorum back into this show, please. Thank you. Yes, and I bought her the book for, I think, a birthday or Christmas present. And she was halfway through reading it. And she was like, oh, it's not as good as the film. I think she didn't like the book. I can't remember why, but she just didn't like the book. So I never read Name of the Rose book. And also, I do remember reading one of the books, the Ellis Peters Brother Cadfael books. And I don't think I finished it. I'm not sure I got on with it. Miles, but only kidding. I've got in less than 2 hours sleep last. Oh no, Martha, less than 2 hours sleep. Well, if you nod off, we'll know exactly why. So yeah, so I thought Brother Cadfael, it's medieval. But yes, no, Lee Rin, they're not host your own murder mystery. It's not one of those. So I perform in professional murder mysteries that take place all over the country in different hotels, and they're run by a company called The Killing Game. So you can look that up if you want. The Killing Game. Oh, they'll probably get deleted and taken down and panicked. I've said the word killing game or killing. And yeah, they're murder mysteries, and there's normally 5 or 6 actors. They're fully scripted. It's all planned out before. We don't just make it up on the day. There's improvisation as well, where we interact with the guests, with the amateur sleuths, the punters that have paid to be there. And we do 2 types. We do an evening one where it starts at 7:30 and it's over a 3-course meal. And we introduce ourselves as the characters. We just go in with the rest of them going, "Hi, I'm Stephen," or whatever, whatever character I am. And then you just chat to them basically. And then every sort of 5 minutes or so, there's a scene between 2, maybe 3 actors. They go, "Oh yeah, Daphne, can I just have a word? Yeah, remember that lawnmower you lent me? Yeah, I'm really sorry, but it's broken." And it's a scripted scene. And there's of course going to be clues there for people to go, "Oh, okay, did it break accidentally, or did he, dismantle it on purpose? Whatever, that lawnmower that is." So there's scenes between 2 characters, and then we would go back and chat to the guests on their dinner tables, and then you'd get a star to come out, and then and we would sit and eat with the guests, and then the main comes out, and then we just so that's basically what we do. And they get a little booklet in the evening ones that have a few clues in there as well, and also at the back there's some mugshots of us so they can write down notes. And they're a lot of fun. And then it finishes around about 11:30, and then obviously there's a murder, and they have to work out who and why, and not necessarily what with, because we tell them that, but like who and why they murdered that person. And there's another version that we do, which is a full weekend that starts in the afternoon, so about 4 o'clock, well, at 4 o'clock, and it's for an hour and a half. This time it's 6 characters, 6 actors, 6 characters, and it's over tea and scones, sometimes some sandwiches if we're lucky. And yeah, and again, we just go around chatting to the guests, you know, and we talk about the plot, you know, we'd say, so I run a lawnmower business, I'm getting obsessed by lawnmowers. And, you know, and that might be part of the plot, blah, 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 you know, and you just have a conversation. It's up to them to really ask us the proper questions. You know, we can lead them into it as well, depending on if they're nice to us. So we've got a bit of discretion with it. And again, scenes will happen, and then we'll mix with them again, and they can ask about the scene and say, hang on, did you just imply that so-and-so's blackmailing you? And depending on where we are in the evening or, you know, in the day, I would say, oh, no, I might deny it all afternoon. And then in the evening, I actually say, Shirley was blackmailing me. Yeah, she's been blackmailing me for several weeks now. You know, so it kind of information, it leaks out as the murder mystery goes on. And of course, all the characters, we could lie. We could be lying about things as well. And it's up to them to work that out as well. And then, so in the evening... then again, then we have a break at the weekend, and then we come back at 7:30, and again it's like the evening plot where it's over a meal, and this time they get A4 bits of paper, so there's lots of different clues because it's a fuller murder mystery, and then again, there's going to be a murder at some point during the weekend, and then we finish about 11 o'clock, and then we do it all again in the morning for about an hour after breakfast, same plot, same characters. So there we go. What roles do you like the most in murder mysteries? What would you do if you met me in a kind of dinner? So those are very good questions. What roles do I like the most in murder mysteries? I like the roles. So the roles are very much the murder mysteries are modern day. So they're not like they're meant to be realistic. They're not like, oh hello, my name's Ivor Biggin, how are you? They're not like innuendo murder mysteries. And that's why I like doing them, because they're proper murder mysteries that have been properly written, that don't change. You know, we can't just make it up on the spot. And so the type of characters I like playing are the characters that have their lives unravel before the audience. So, you know, I might be playing a character that's married, that's got a good job, you know, that's doing well in life. And then because that character then underneath all of that has done some sneaky, shady stuff, like he might be having an affair, he might have been gambling and he's hugely in debt, and therefore he's, you know, trying to borrow money off someone. I like, you know, and he might have got into drugs, I don't know. But I like it, and then that slowly comes out, you know, and he's being blackmailed about being on drugs, because there's just something fun. And of course, it's just a murder mystery. You know, in real life, I wouldn't like this to happen to anyone. But what, you know, playing a part where somebody's life falls apart is really fun, because you're getting more and more desperate, and you're really trying to, you know, form alliances maybe with other characters, or, you know, or you're trying to get the audience on your side by saying, but look, I've got a gambling debt. That's why, you know, I couldn't handle that, and that's why I got into drugs. And, you know, you're trying to get them on your side. So I do like those characters. And if I met you at one of those dinners, Martha, I'd be in character, because that's what I have to be. So it wouldn't be Ken. I'd be whatever my character was called. So at the moment, the current evening plot, so the one I've got next weekend, I'm Tom Irons, who is he runs a wrought iron company that makes benches, fences, wrought iron, you know, curtain poles, railings, anything like that. So that's my character. And his little story currently that's going on for him is he's having to move his wrought iron company, his factory, and he's going to have to build another factory on the other side of the village. So that's kind of my character. And I would just be going, hi, I'm Tom, how are you? Oh, Martha, okay, lovely to meet you. And then I would just be saying, so it's great to be here. Oh, and the whole point of the evening is that we're all part of an amateur dramatic society. And it's 70 years, or 75 years, 70 years since... Bye-bye, Sally. Thank you for watching. 70 years since the opening, since the first show of this amateur dramatic society, and so we're here for like a pre-dinner, and there's a show that we're all in called Oklahoma, the musical Oklahoma, that we're putting on the following week. And so in the clues, there's actually a cast list and Oklahoma and a little poster for it, as well as other clues as well. Another one is the eviction notice that my business was served by a solicitor saying, because I'm leasing my factory at the moment, saying you've got 1 year to vacate the building. And of course I'm like, where am I going to go? So that is the current plot at the moment. So I would just be saying, yeah, hi, I'm Tom. Oh yeah, so are you part of the society as well, or have you previously been one? And we just have a normal conversation. And then it's your job to sort of ask me about me to see if there's anything relevant. And you're just basically subtly, the best way to do it is to subtly ask the characters questions, make notes and say, okay, right, he owns a wrought iron company. He employs Naomi. Oh, okay, cool. And then you might sort of think, is something going on between him and Naomi? Let's ask them that. Let's see if we can ask them that without them getting offended or anything. So we do have discretion if you've been rude to us, because some people do. Some people are going, you go, hi there, I'm Tom, pleased to meet you. And they go, so you're having an affair, aren't you? And you go, hello. I've only just met you, and the first thing you're accusing me of having an affair. Do you see what I mean? So people have to be a bit more subtle about it. Hello, Dwayne, Dano. I never know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Dano. I'm going to call you Dano, if that's all right. Hello, yes, we're very good, thanks. You're probably wondering why I'm dressed like Brother Cadfael. I've got a murder mystery next week, and the theme is detectives for the evening plot, for the evening session. Leaving Spirit, I heard also there are murder trains. No, I've heard about those as well, yeah, where a weekend trek, Orient Express style, a deadline to solving the mystery play, which is train arrives, the station you pay for. Yes, I've heard about those. They're quite cool. I would imagine they're fun because you'd have actors coming along into each carriage and doing their scenes, and you have to work it out as well. So I would imagine that's fun. I would never be rude to you. Yeah, more settled and direct. Yeah, well then you'd be very good at playing the murder mystery game. Absolutely, actually doing it. And also the nice thing about it is that you get a really nice 3-course meal. We get it as part of our fee, so we get paid. We get our travel expenses, and also we get a 3-course meal. And if we do a weekend one, we get a room, we get to stay in a lovely, beautiful hotel. They're normally 3 to 4 star hotels. To be honest, as an actor, I would play into that with all the crime novels I've read. You might have an advantage. Yes. Well, this is the thing. I know what you're saying there. Yeah, you'd have a good idea of how murder mysteries work if you're used to reading a lot of murder mystery novels. However, it really is about following what the actors say, what the characters say, and following the clue in the book, and actually following the story. Because some people go, oh, we were going to put so-and-so down as the murderer, but it was too obvious. And it's like, well, if it's too obvious, you've obviously led all the clues and everything has led to them. Put them down. We don't just suddenly pull a fast one and go, oh, let's just randomly pick someone to be the murderer. So it really is just follow what you're being presented with. So there we go. But also the reason why I'm dressed like this is it's the closest I could get to being a druid. Because where's Jam? Guildlands, yes, this is the proof copy. I think I've shown it to you before. In fact, I have. This is the proof copy of Kedrick Winks and myself. There we go. This is our new game that's being published by Outset Media and Cheatwell. And it is a tile-laying game, an asymmetric scoring tile-laying game. So if you like Carcassonne, it's here. Exactly, Lerin, it is here. Look at this. Look, sample. But yeah, it's pretty much the finished copy. Paul, who works for Cheatwell, who's like the commissioning editor and production manager, He's made a few changes. So one is that the cover's going to be slightly brighter, which fair enough. I'd be happy with this as it is, but he's going to make it slightly brighter. And also a few of the components need to be slightly bigger or slightly smaller just to work better on the tiles. But yeah, so this is the back of the box, and it's one of those things where after all the years, I mean, this game's been in development for about 4 years now, something like that. And Kedrick and I put in so much work, and other people as well. You know, when we had it signed for WizKids, they put in a lot of work with us. Paul has put in a lot of work. Mark, the graphic designer, who's done the logo and all the layout. And Blue, the artist, who's done all the illustrations. You know, there's a lot of people that have put in some work here for this. So to see it as a product, finally, as a product, can you read what I said, please? Oh, yes, I will. It's just really amazing. It really is like you go, wow, this is what it all led up to. So it's absolutely fantastic. So Martha's put, I've been once and it made one of the characters cry by just asking, how are you feeling? Well, there you go. So that was probably a clue, though. Was it a clue where, you know, that actor was obviously, you know, that her character or his character was obviously that he'd been traumatized or something had happened to him and he was very delicate, and you're just going, how are you feeling? And then they start crying. Or was it an actor actually genuinely crying? In our murder mystery games, in our murder mystery company, The Killing Game, check out their website. At the moment, we only do them in the UK, although we did do one in like the Isle of Wight or something. Because we do corporate, do private events as well. Yeah, that's never happened to us. It's here exactly. So yeah, so we got loads of tiles like Carcassonne. There you go. That's the starting tile. The big statue of the founder, Ferrum. I can't remember his name now. He's a blacksmith, but that isn't a blacksmith. But anyway, so yeah, we've got different tiles with different symbols. And we've got different guilds. So the aim of the game is that each player plays a different guild. We've got the Gardener's Guild. We've got the Road Toll Collectors Guild. We've got the City Watch. Oh, there you go. So on one side is how your guild scores, and then on the other is like all the actions you can take. You've got the Wizards Guild. You've got the Merchants Guild. And you've got the Druids Guild. So this is my loose connection. It's not really a druid, but it's clerical. So there you go. What more do you want from me? So yeah, we've got the Druids Guild. So you each play a guild, and then you'll be scoring off of your own symbols. So if I was playing the Druids, I'd be looking for the Standing Stones. If I was playing the markets, I'd be going for the markets. The Wizards will be the Wizards Tower. The City Watch are the blue guard towers. The roads, you're scoring off the roads. And if you're playing the Gardeners, you'll be scoring off the trees. But you all score slightly differently. You each get tokens. You get little tokens, and you get cute little workers, or as I wanted to call them, geeples, guild people. But they felt that was too close to meeple, which it is. And of recent events with the word meeple, they got a bit nervous, copyright reasons. So we've got the Druids, nice little cool little figures. We got the little City Watch dude. We got the Wizard dude. We got the Merchants. And we've got the Road Toll Collectors. And we've got, I've done the Wizards. We've got the Gardeners. So that's really cool. And, yeah, so other little tweaks are they're going to make made the lines thicker so that the transfers come out better on the little figures. So this is a proof copy. And as I say, they've made a few little tweaks here and there, but it's out being published now. It's out being printed now. So they're printing 5,000 copies, which is amazing. And we will have another demo copy. So basically, this and another copy is going to be available at UK Games Expo. I'm going to be demoing this game and also Kedrick and I's previous game, The Crooked Crown. Going to be demoing that. And yeah, we're going to hopefully garner some interest in Guildlands. And then it's actually going to be launched a couple of weeks later at Origins in America. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's really cool. And there we go. There we have it. That is Guildlands. So I thought I'd just show you Guildlands once more. Why not? Oh, you do get gold to spend. And you can gain gold throughout the game as well. These are the little coins. And when you spend a gold, you can perform another action. So you can like combination them if you want, which is really cool. But if you don't spend your gold and you have gold at the end of the game, you gain some points for it. So there we are. There we are. Will you be going to the US for the launch? You did ask. I will answer that in just 1 second as I read some others. Lee Rinsburg, after our last live stream, on day 2, got a modular board game called The Last Raptor. Okay, where you either play a bunch of raptors trying to kidnap baby dinosaurs, lovely, with sleep gas grenades, King Kong style, or mummy dinosaur who tries to stop them. Sounds fun. Martha's put here, that was a clue that no one else picked up on. Oh, I see. And his character was the blackmail victim, and you figured it out just by watching his body language. And an actress who was more aggressive and harsh towards him, she was the one blackmailed. Oh, very well played, Martha. Very well played. But that's it. You kind of ask the right questions, but also you do it in a way that's going to get you what you want, some clues. Lehman's put, now that is professional method acting to embody your role 24/7, as long as the narrative's rolling. Well, that's what we have to do. Yeah, absolutely. So as soon as the murder mystery starts, or even before that, when I turn up to the hotels and I'm checking in, if it's a full weekend one, or I'm just, saying, where's the actors' green room? Because we normally get given a conference room to change in, or to run our lines and that kind of thing. I'm always in character because you want them to have that immersive feeling. So if I'm married, I will wear my, I've got a fake wedding ring. I will wear my ring driving to the venue, so that if they see me in the car park, and I don't know if they're part of the murder mystery at that point or not, but if someone sees me in the car park and they happen to notice I'm wearing a wedding ring, then it all tags in for them. And so, yeah, we do that as well. So, especially for a full weekend one, if we're seen round about in the hotel, we have to be in character. So sometimes, if we're walking around sort of at the break, say me and another actress, and yet our characters really hate each other and we wouldn't really be sitting, walking along together chatting, if I spot someone, I go, yeah, anyway, but you keep it, and then I sort of start a false argument with them just to keep up the pretense. Another is when you go into the loo. Sometimes they go, oh, so how many have you been doing? How many, murder mysteries have you done? And I sort of go, murder mysteries? Oh, I've not done any of those. They sound a lot of fun. Have you done any murder mysteries? And they go, oh, right, he's still in character. One plot where my character unravelled. So in the afternoon, it's sort of fine. It was all about a game show. So I was a producer on a game show, and we got the game show. One of the actors is playing the game show host. And my character used to be on drugs. He got into debt and he got into drugs. And then he's now clean. He's been sober, he's been clean, and he's building his way back into the television profession by producing a really rubbish quiz show that he doesn't really want to do, but he's earning his way back to doing shows he wants to do. And during the evening, one of the other characters leads me astray and says, go on, do you want to do some coke in the loo, basically? But it's all very subtle. So off we go. And I said to the actress, I actually do need the loo. I'll make, so she just hung out a little bit in the bar bit and then went back in. And, and she was meant to be all high. And then I came back in, I'm meant to be all high. So off I go to the loo, and then I see one of the guys washing his hands, and I think, oh, great. So I went into the cubicle, I got my hotel card, and just started doing the, as though I was chopping it all up. And then I was like going, and I thought, he's heard that. He's going to go back to his table, and he's going to go, oh, I just saw Stephen, or whatever my character was called, or Jason, I think it was. I just saw Jason, he was taking drugs in the loo. So as I finish up, wash my hands, and I go back round to the dining area, the dining room, and there's a bar just on that side that's not part of the Killing Game bar. We had table service, and so as I walk past, I see the guy at the bar with his mates just having a pint, and I'm thinking, oh, he's not part of the murder mystery. So he just thought that a random guy was doing drugs in the cubicle. And I was half expecting throughout the rest of the evening for like a hand on my shoulder and the hotel manager to be going, sorry, sir, can you just come with us for 1 second? I was half expecting that. But, hey, people don't care about drugs anymore. Martha's put, it was great, and the dinner was amazing, and afterwards he said it was difficult to fake cry. Yes, it can be difficult to fake cry, absolutely. So, there we go. Good morning, Jam. Good morning, Roslyn. How are you? How is everybody? Good morning, Yes, so, I don't know if you've seen this already, Jam, but this is the latest tile laying game by myself and Kedrick Winks. Guildlands. If you're going to UK Games Expo, come to the Outset Cheatwell stand, couldn't think of the word there, and you can come and play a game of Guildlands, because we're going to have 2 demo copies. So we've just got one of them back from the printer, so we're going to have 2 demo copies, so it's all very exciting. And also, oh dear, that's not much, just 2 copies. We missed the deadline in order to have stock there at the UK Games. Jonathan did ask, am I going to US Origins, because that's where it's actually going to be launched. I'm just going to have a quick... before it goes completely cold. The answer is no. The answer is no, even though the year before, when I was at UK Games demoing the Crooked Crown, they asked me if I'd like to go over to Origins, and that all of them have forgotten that they asked me. So they've not organised it, which was such a shame. Such a shame. Maybe the year after, when we've got another game with them. So there we go. Sleep next to the mirror. You'll get twice as much. Yes, so there we go. So that is Guildlands. So thank you for indulging me on that. Probably for the best, considering all the issues people are having visiting the States at the moment. Yeah, that's probably true, actually. That's probably true. And would they let me in? A reprobate like myself? Yeah, it would have been cool. I'm not going to deny that. Kedrick's going, but Kedrick went last time, and they invited Kedrick because they've actually published about 4 solo games of Kedrick's. So Psychobabble, Ghost Hunters, and Cadaver, and Shadow Ninjas. So they've published 4 of his games, he's designed on his own, plus the Crooked Crown, plus Guildlands. So they've actually published 6 of his games. So they warrant that he can fly, that they'll pay for him to go over. Liren's going to go and... Oh, you're delaying the Snow White session to tomorrow, Monday night, because taking a 1-hour train ride tomorrow to central Taiwan for the annual gathering of relations to clean the ancestral mausoleum. Ah, lovely. On the bright side, there will be delicious lunch, good weather that follows tomorrow. Well, that sounds very worthy. And if that's that's a priority because that's just a one-off event. Well, each year, but it happens on the on a particular day. Whereas Snow White will be in the cinema for a while. So there we go. So enjoy that. And the latest news. I'll update you on my game book, Devilish Dilemmas, and Edra Tales game book. This is book 1, To Kill a Thief. Now, all the game books that I write will be standalone. They will be standalone because I did figure that if I've got a stall and I'm selling my game books, if they're all connected, if you level up, which is a cool idea, like Lone Wolf, you level up into the next game book. I did think that people might not buy the first book, because if you've got 3 or 4 of them, they might go, I'm going to have to buy all 4 books in order to enjoy them. It's just more awkward, and I'd always have to have book 1 in stock. I'd always have to have that. Whereas if they're all standalone, then you can just read them out of sequence, and people might not want to play a thief. They might want to play a monk, for example. Bless you, my children. So I think I've got more chance in making sales like that if they're all standalone. So where are we? Well, I have written 96,000 words so far, 96,000 words, and I've written 370. Yay, I've got good habits. There we go. 370 entries. Thank you very much, Wilson. That's very kind of you. Yeah. 370 entries out of about 400. So I am so close to getting there. Loud hiss and hides in dark cave. Oh, bless you, Martha. Jam's got to run as well. Take care, Jam. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks for just popping in. Always welcome. So I am so close. I'm about 30 entries to go. And it's been fun. It's been a lot of work, obviously, but it's been fun. It's taken me 3 months. 3 months to write it. And I think it took me a month to plan. So I've got I don't want to show you this too much because this is all the answers. This is the branching narrative. This is the flowchart. So it took me about a month to actually plot the novel. And as you can see, it's a lot of plotting. It's a lot of plotting. How many pages is it? It's a lot of pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, no. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There you go. Who'd have thought watching somebody count on a live stream would be interesting? 11 pages. Well, it's actually 10 and a half because the last page is only half covered. So I am here. I've got a page and a half left to write. So I'm really happy about that. Really happy about it. So I should, fingers crossed, get it finished by the end of this week. By next Friday, Saturday, and then I'm going to read it all through. Going to edit it. I'm going to look at it again, and then I'm going to pass it to Sally, who's very kindly said that she would proofread it for me, and also to another friend of mine who's very kindly said she's going to proofread it for me and maybe do a bit of editing. So, and then I'm going to put it out to playtest. So next week I'll probably be asking people if anyone would like a copy to playtest. And it will be a digital version only, and it won't have the illustrations. So, bearing in mind, it might spoil your enjoyment of actually playing the finished copy. So think very wisely, think very long and hard if you do want to play test it, because you'll be spoiling things for yourself. That's all I can say. But I'm more than happy if you do want a copy to play test it. But if you don't want it spoiled, because if you've backed it and you just want to get the final book, then I'm not going to be offended. Absolutely not. Lyrian has built, which is why I couldn't start Forbidden Lands until this year, because of its open world format that now spans 7 books. Yes, there you go, which took 18 months total to gather. There is the 8th book, Realm, incoming, it is said. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a cool idea that you level up each book and they're all connected. However, if you're just new to the series and there's 7 books out there or 8 books out there, and you do have to start at book 1, I think that can be off-putting for a lot of people. So each of mine are going to be standalone, and they're going to be linked because they're going to be set in the same world, and you might even come across the same characters, but you won't need any knowledge of the previous books in order to enjoy one book. Jonathan's put, I was a backer of the doomed Fableland 7 Kickstarter. Oh, did that not get delivered then? That is a shame. That is a shame. Hopefully you didn't lose too much money then. Levin's put here, thank goodness we're here to start the Eden adventure right at the starting line. Oh, okay. Well, then that's good. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was a different adventure, but I thought that was part of the Fabled Lands one. The Edra, I mean, yes. Exactly. You guys are right in at the starting line, absolutely. Oh no, the books were printed. Oh, that's so naughty of them. The books were printed and sold via retail rather than being sent out to backers like Jonathan. Honestly, presumably you got a refund then, because it's not like the company went out of business. So they got yeah, that is theft. I was going to say, so they got money from backers to make the book, and then they made even more money off of selling it to retailers. Rosalind's asked, was that on Bound? Eek, says Leran. Absolutely. Oh, you can't do that to people. I have sympathy if a company goes bankrupt and they can't deliver. I have sympathy if someone gets overwhelmed with their Kickstarter and it just takes them years to deliver. I do have sympathy from that. But seriously, that's bad. Hello, Major Roundup. How are you? Best views on... Yay, you've come to spam us. Remove the space. Remove the space. Thank you, Mirror Roundup, for spamming us. Bless you and all your spamming colleagues. God's love to you. No refunds. It was I don't know how you pronounce that. Megra. There were 3 Kickstarters that didn't deliver, and I lost money on it. Oh my God! Hopefully people will. The thing is though, if you don't know about it, you just book. If they've already done that before, and they start another one, you might not know about that. Spam bots, yes, Martha, absolutely. Rosalind's put, I back loads of Jonathan's stuff, so I have views on them. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan's stuff, we've done some live playthroughs of Jonathan's books, Ace Game books, for those of you that don't know, but I think everybody knows by now. And we've always enjoyed Jonathan's books, and this is what I mean. Jonathan, I don't know, I think 1 or 2 times you've gone over the deadline where you've said you deliver, but you always deliver, and I think that's very important. I backed an artist once who did these really cool illustrations, and it took him 5 years to finish his book. Something like 5 years, but he did deliver. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Obviously, I just thought he got overwhelmed. He didn't realise how much of a thing it was going to be. He got overwhelmed. He did really well. He raised a lot of money, but because it dragged on and dragged on and dragged on, and he did refund people. People wanted their money back, and so that's not good for his reputation. But he did deliver in the end. So Rosalind's asked, are they fixing the bug with your bundle of holding? That was a shame. What was the bundle of holding then? Was that something? Yeah, so Jonathan does Kickstarter, not Unbound. Yeah, if that's what you mean. Martha's better. I have an early copy of the book you made, and it didn't spoil anything for me. It made me want more. Oh, was this? Yeah, this was the sample, Martha. This was the sample. So, yes, you've read this bit, but I'm just saying that if people play test the game for my game book, you will get the full book. You'll get the full book minus the illustrations, and it won't be necessarily lovely formatted. However, and so therefore I'm just warning people that, yeah, you will be spoiling the book for yourself, because you'll be playing it at the playtesting side, not at the finished product side, if that makes sense. But if people, if you volunteer to playtest my book, I would be very grateful. It's very kind of you, but I've no expectations. I have no right to demand stuff. But all I'm just warning people of is that then you will have the game book spoiled. So if you've backed it and you're going to get a really nice, paperback copy or the hardback copy, then you'll already know some of it already, if that's what I mean. But if you're happy with that, then, yeah, that's fine. But I just want people to be aware, Jonathan's put a link in to something about Unbound and the bundle of holding. Mind you, Unbound have gone into administration still owing money. Have they? Oh, have they? Oh, so it was all tied up with Unbound, was it? It was bound to Unbound. Yeah, Jonathan, that is awful. And again, that's not your fault, though, is it? But this is what I mean. Things like Jonathan, Unbound seem to be the problem there. It's not Jonathan's fault, even though he might get a bit of fallout from it. When Jonathan does his own Kickstarters, you always deliver. And there's a difference between that and a retailer, and a manufacturer kickstarting a product, taking the money, not giving what the backers have, been promised, and then selling it on to retailers. Inside the Box games were another disaster. Oh no, Jonathan. Goodness gracious, I'm sorry that happened to you, Jonathan. Yeah, that sucks. They stole from you. Yeah, absolutely. Like, their hardback quality is so nice, but we all know why their delivery is complete train wreck. Right, so there you go. Yeah. Shakespeare vs. Cthulhu had been delayed 6 months, but I'm not going to launch another until it's done. So that's what I mean, absolutely. So I have sympathy for creators, certainly independent creators, manufacturers as well, if their products are delayed, because things can happen, life gets in the way, things can just get delayed. And as long as, Jonathan's always delivered, and this is with me, if mine gets delayed, it gets delayed, and I'm going to be really sorry about that, but you will get what you promised. Jonathan, I'm currently trying to buy your Beowulf book. Nice. I'm getting absolutely no email about that either. Okay. Oh, and she PM'd you on Facebook. Okay, this is a private thing between you and Rosalind. Take your time, John. Just saying, physically, mentally healthy. Yeah, unexhausted comes first. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the backers will understand, and it's all about transparency, isn't it? It wasn't working. The computer did not post payment. Again, it's just technical problems. Right, so there you go. So, Jonathan, you can buy direct. Yeah, you can buy direct from Jonathan. Yeah, absolutely. I always knew it wasn't you mucking around. Yeah. Yes, exactly. And that's the other thing. I think, not everything's perfect. Computers go wrong. Computer says no. So again, I think as customers, we have to be a bit patient and a bit understanding with people as well. But obviously, if someone totally robs from you, But bear in mind, when you back a Kickstarter, they do say there's no guarantee that you'll get your product. So you do have to back with caution, is what I would say as well. But Jonathan's an honest guy. You'll always get his stuff with Jonathan. Only the Kickstarters I've backed is yours and the book. I really need that one with Kin. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, I've backed, X amount of Kickstarters over the year, and I think I've only had 2 or 3 that haven't delivered. And I would sort of, at the time, I was, I had money, sort of spare money, if you like, that I thought, okay, if this doesn't come off, then I'm fine with losing that money. I've never backed anything over, I think, over Oh, I backed the Skyrim game, which was probably about 75 quid. So that's probably my highest that I've backed. But that was with Mythics, so they're a big company, you know, they're a known company. So again, do your research. So there you go. So yes, I'm very, very happy with the progress I've made with To Kill a Thief. 370 entries of the 400 written, 96,000 words. So Jonathan, you are not far wrong of how many words I'll have written. I'm probably going to write, it might be about 100,000, 105,000 by the time it's fully done. So yeah, so that's a big beast. That's sort of probably going to be about that thick, which is bigger than I thought it would be, but then some of my paragraphs are quite long. I backed Zombicide, Black Plague, all in, but other than that, it's just Jonathan stuff really. Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. I think it's a chicken and egg, isn't it? Because sometimes you want projects to come to fruition, so you'll back them because you're providing the money for them to do it. But equally, you could just wait until retail. But obviously you're waiting longer. You should be waiting longer than the backers. And also, if you're a backer, you should be getting extra perks rather than just buying the product. That's how I see it anyway. So there we go. So yes, hopefully I'll have finished the first draft by the end of the week. Jam, hey, is Jam gone? Jam's gone, isn't it? I was going to say, how's Jam getting on with that? How are you getting on, Jonathan, with Cthulhu, Shakespeare versus Cthulhu? Because I think you've written the complete manuscript and now you're in the editing phase. Is that correct? Sounds cool. Thank you, Roslyn. We'd like to back yours better than £3, but my YouTube channel makes zero money so far. Yeah, no, and that's the other thing with backing projects. Always just back with money that you've got. This is what I always say to people, anybody that's backing my projects especially, only back my product, my Kickstarters, if you have money that is not going to bills. If you can't pay your bills for the month, do not back me, because bills come first. You know, your life, your welfare, you know, your environment, buying food, heating, paying the mortgage, paying the rent comes first. If you've got spare money, then back projects. And also, it's kind of a little bit like gambling, going, and if the product fails for whatever reason, I might lose that money. Always bear that in mind as well. So Jonathan has finished editing Act 4 yesterday, so I'm plotting Act 5, the final act. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I thought it was only going to be 3 acts, because you've done 3 acts. So it's a 5-act game book. That's fantastic. And you've finished editing Act 4. Oh, that's right. You write it. You write most of it, and then you edit it all, and then you write the last bit, because then you can definitely get the last bit correct based on what you've written before. That's smart, that is. Martha's put, I'm a bit overwhelmed because I'm going to try and reduce my whole apartment. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like that as well, Martha. I've gone through my books, my board games, my DVDs, and I have got a lot of them sitting in boxes at the moment. Because, hello, Rolo. Rolo Zek. How are you? How are you? Thank you. We're just talking about game books. I'm writing my first game book that was successfully kickstarted. And we're just saying that I'm very close to finishing. I've only got 30 entries out of 400 to write. I've written 96,000 words. And we're also talking about James Bond's books. We're talking about Ace game books, which are Jonathan Green. And he's writing his very successful Kickstarter game book, Shakespeare versus Cthulhu. 5 acts, because Shakespeare plays were always 5 acts. Of course they were. We see this. Jonathan does his research. Your name feels familiar. Are you Rolo from Storymaster Tales? Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I kind of thought I recognised your name, but I wasn't sure. This is the thing. If I don't know people's handles? Who calls them that? When I was a kid, we had CBs, and you'd call it you'd have a handle. I don't even know what people call them, just the name. But if it's not their actual name, sometimes, be like, Ken, I watch your stuff and you don't know it's me. I'm like, yeah, well, because you haven't put your proper name up. Yes, so we are very close to finishing that, so I should get it done this week. And then I'm going to be working on the illustrations. Oh, and the other thing that I went, wow, this is amazing. I've packed so much adventure into the 400 entries. I can't believe how much you can actually pack into 400 entries. It's quite interesting. So it's my first time writing a game book. So it's like, wow, I've got a lot of story here. So I'm really excited. I really want to hear people's feedback when the book gets launched and people start playing it. Hopefully they'll love it. Rolo, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm very sorry. I'm going to call you Rolo because I can pronounce that. Nope, sorry. Just a regular follower that recognised you from the Bottled Imp reviews and Talisman. Oh, okay. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Yes, normally I'm not wearing my brother's outfit. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. And the Talisman. Well, if you love Talisman, Rolo, I've got involved guest playing on a new channel called the Talisman Tavern that's run by Glenn and Zods. And we play games of digital talisman. So check out the Talisman Tavern. Because, yeah, it's fun to watch. Yeah, because so if you love Talisman and you like watching me, I mean, come on, who doesn't? There's Grocklesnook. You'll recognise Grocklesnook. Then, yeah, check it out. Yeah, absolutely check them out. They're a lot of fun. They're nice guys. They got good banter. And, and they can never beat me. It's rather difficult nickname. Yes, it is a little bit. Nickname, is that what you guys call that? Because I call them handles, because I was back in the day. And now your name is Pink. Oh, so can you change the colours of how your names come up? Because yours is always an orange, Martha, for me. So there we go. So, yes. Well, you'll be pleased to know if you've been following the Bottled Imp. There it is. As you know, we do board game reviews. Now, I've got a couple of games that have been published with my friend Kedrick Winks, co-designed. Guildlands is a tile-laying asymmetric scoring game, kind of like Carcassonne. It's like Carcassonne on steroids. And also, we made a fun, quick 20-minute Crooked Crown card game. And I'm going to be at the UK Games Expo demoing both of them. So if you want to come along to Outset Media and Cheatwell Games, then please do so if you are there. Oh, the colour is random. Leerin's put, the Prophetess is hands down the most powerful character with her literal wider choice of cards and control over the game across the editions. Yeah, the Prophetess is very, very powerful. I do like playing the Prophetess. However, there are other characters you can play that will beat the Prophetess. The Wizard is very good at beating the Prophetess because, again, the Wizard has spells. Really, with the Prophetess, you do need other characters to have spells. Although, what you could do is be very brutal, and in the early rounds, if you're a strength-based character, you could just go in and try and attack her and just kill her. Sounds brutal, but, that's... And Twitch, please don't censor that. We're talking about a game, Talisman. So, what else do I want to show you? Oh, yes, I'm just going to show you these. So, you know that I was talking about gob heads, my goblin heads, where I just did this on a whim on holiday last year, I think it was. I've made some more. So this is the very first gob head that I made. So it's a little bit crude. I think it's cute though. It's a bit cute. Then I started making some more because I did have some more clay. She will leave the dragon or 3 behind for you to deal with. Yeah, exactly. So this is the next gob head. So he is drying out at the moment. So there we go. So I'm starting to sort of improve them a little bit, so they're not quite as crude. There's that one. Then I made this one, but unfortunately his ear fell off. So there's this one here that I'll glue his ear back on though. And these are air drying, so I'm just letting them dry completely before I paint them. So I'll glue his ear back on. Yeah, Grandpa Yoda. Exactly. Gru-you. I don't know that one. Groger? Yeah, they're kind of like yogers. They're meant to be goblins. So there's that one. And what I've done now is actually initialed them with my initials and then put what number made it is. So this is number 3. And then also the month and the date. Why not keep it broken ear? Yeah, makes it a bit more unique. I did wonder that. But I think if I was to break it, I would want a bit more of an ear. And so it'd be more like somebody's taking a bite out of it. So I might actually do that for a future one. And then this one. This little cutie. So they're all actually different sizes. This is the biggest one. Because when I made the second one, you know, I didn't really know how much clay I needed, so I made a huge one. And then I thought, oh, actually, they could all be little sizes, you know, different sizes. That one's obviously going to take a lot longer to dry out. And then I'm going to paint them. So there you go. They're all little cute. This one, though, I put teeth in. I put some teeth because I worked out how to do teeth. So I might put teeth in them, or teeth in some and not in the others. So there you go. There's one without teeth. And there's one with teeth. And also, as you can see, I've started to layer up the eyes. So the eyes are a little bit more layered. Can you see the difference there? So I've got a various... So I've got kind of got a standard gob head that I can play about with the features. And then what I might also do is like add a little hat to them and add eye patches and just customize them as I go on, as I get a bit more skillful at making them. So there you go. How about making an imp? Yeah, I should make Grocklesnook, shouldn't I? Should make Grocklesnook. So there you go. So that's just a little hobby of mine that obviously I'll try and turn into a profession because that's what I do. But I did think, actually, on my bookstall, I would have my books. But then I thought, oh, maybe I could sell these as well. So maybe I could just sell these for like £6 or something, £8. I think people would buy them. They're quite cute, aren't they? And then what I thought I could do is maybe, maybe I could write on a little scroll, like their story. But I'd have to have very, very tiny writing. So there's that. Oh, and then very quickly, my game in development, Devilish Deaths. See what I did there? Devilish Dilemmas. And then Devilish Deaths, which is my murder mystery game. Hey, they can potentially hold glasses. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, you put your glasses on. I do actually wear glasses myself. A lot of you won't know that. I need glasses for driving and going to the cinema. So it's a little known secret. Let's have a look. Can they hold glasses? Kind of. I'd have to really model them if I was going to go for that. Oh, they kind of do. Yeah, maybe I could. Maybe I could actually start fashioning them to hold glasses. That's a good idea. Because I guess if they are function as well, that adds an extra reason why somebody might want to buy them. Why not wear them? They look good, Ken. Oh, thank you, Martha. I'm too vain. Too vain. With a beautiful face like this. I'm too vain. Well, I only need them for distance. And I've got a pair of sunglasses for when I drive, actually, during the day. Because I want to look cool, you know? Intellectual goblins, yeah. Exactly. Intellectual goblins that love playing chess. Adorable and practical. Yeah, thank you, Lewin. Yeah, I might consider that, actually. Or I could put holes in the back, and they could be pen holders. And then they've just got... Yeah, I could do that. I might play about with that. So yes, I have been playtesting my Devilish Deaths murder mystery game, deliciously difficult murders to solve, and I playtested it at St Albans Board Game Club last Saturday because I didn't have a murder mystery and I didn't have any mediumship fair to go to. So I thought I'd pop along. It's an all-day board gaming club on a Saturday. Not every Saturday. I think they do it once a month. Their main ones are in the evening. So it's 11 till 11. So it's 11 a.m. to 11 at night. That's a lot of game time. So I had, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players who very kindly agreed to play test it with me. And so these are some of the character cards. And and it was very successful. They really enjoyed it. There was one person that basically bailed about 2 hours in, and I thought, oh, you're so close to winning. You know, you're so close to sort of working it all out. But he said, look, thanks, it's not really my kind of game, because his wife wanted to play it, and she kind of dragged him into it, I think. And he just said, it's not really my type of game, but thanks anyway. And off he went. He wanted to play something else. So I thought, okay, fair enough. And that is a very good thing to remember, that if someone, it's not their type of game, they wouldn't go and buy it. They'd pick it up off the shelf. They'd look at it and go, oh, it's a murder mystery game. That's not my type of game. And off they go. And I think it's because it's cooperative. I don't think he likes cooperative games. So, he likes competition. So that was, it was unfortunate for him. So I didn't take that as he's walked off because the game's not any good. He actually was very honest and said, look, it's not my type of game. And the way he was playing, I can sort of tell that. I could tell that he liked to be in control of the moves. He liked to, have his own agency as opposed to rely on other people. Put it that way. So there we go. So I have, so I've got some very useful feedback. On the whole, the game is pretty much as it should be. But I will be making, yet again, but this is where you playtest, a few more changes, just 1 or 2 more tweaks. And the thing is, I'm kind of running out of people now to playtest it. I think I've got one more group of people that I can, potentially playtest it with. So that'll be interesting. So I'm going to make those changes and then playtest it again. But I'm also going to, so UK Games, I don't know if people are aware of that, they have speed dating for publishers and designers. So what you do is you have to have your rules on just 2 pages. Now mine span about 6 pages. Look, there's my playtesting notes. So I have got a version that just summarises the game into 2 A4 pages, and also you have to have a pitch sheet or a sell sheet, which is one side of A4, just explaining what the game's about and the selling points. And then you submit those, and then I don't know how many publishers they've got, maybe 15, maybe 20, and then they will look at all the entries, and if they see a game that they would like to see, then you are invited along to the speed dating, which is, I believe, on Friday evening. And it lasts about an hour and a half, because we did it last year. And basically, all the designers stay seated. They have their game set up, and then the publishers move around. So after 5 minutes, there's a bell that rings, and then all the publishers get up and they go to the next one. And you've got 5 minutes to pitch your game and for them to ask questions. So what tends to happen is, if they really want to see your game and maybe even demo your game, play your game, they will say to you, right, we're on stand such and such, here's our business card, come and find us and we'd like to see the game. So can you explain the game, in a bit more detail? And that's what happened to Kedrick and I when we were demoing our Titanic game. And we got some, good feedback. We actually did meet, I think, 2 publishers or 3 publishers afterwards. Nobody did bite. However, it's a really good experience. So I'm going to put that in. I've also got my Bumblebee game, my game, Misbehave. I'm going to put that one in, and there's another game that I'm going to put in as well, but I can't for the life of me think what it is. So maybe it's not ready. I need food and sleep. My head is not in the best moment. Yes, I've just noticed the time myself, Martha. So there we go. So that is kind of all the projects I've been working on. So thank you for listening. Hopefully it's been entertaining. And thank you for sharing your projects. It's a good idea, but 5 minutes is a really short time to get a game pitch, isn't it? It is, but it really concentrates the mind. At the modular hex honey harvesting game. The modular hex harvesting honey. Oh yeah, so I have shown that to you. Yes, that's the one. The hex honey harvesting game. Yeah, obviously with my one, I would basically say it's a murder mystery game. There's 4 cases in the base game. Each case is played over, on cards. You have 2 of 4 actions to do on your turn. You can question a witness, test for forensics, check a clue, or play a power deduction card. You work cooperatively. Over 24 hours, you have to solve the case. If you guess 3 times, and 3 times you guess incorrectly, you've lost the case, and you read the police report. If, however, whenever you guess, you read that suspect's statement, and if you're correct, you've won the game. That is pretty much all I will be pitching at that stage. And it's quite good because it really, 5 minutes really concentrates, distills your game down into the essence of what they want to know. And of course, if they're not up for, if they hate murder mystery games, because that's the thing, you only need one publisher liking your game for you to be at the speed dating. All the other ones might not have expressed an interest. However, when they see the game, they might go, oh, actually, we misjudged this game. Maybe we do want to publish this game. But some publishers, will go, oh, yeah, that's not the game for us. Or we've already got a murder mystery game, so we're going to pass. So you just don't know. So you're just basically, but it's a good way to pitch to, say, 20 publishers in an hour. That doesn't happen often. So there you go. So thank you all for watching. It's been lovely chatting to you. Rosalind has put, it seems unfair to games with levels of complexity and such. Does seem very swift. Fair point. Yes, I know what you mean, Rosalind, but what they have got is when you submit your game, I think there's 3 categories that you can put your game into. Light complexity, mid complexity, and heavy complexity. So they should have a list of who is, if your game's, where your game is complexity level is. That didn't make sense. So for example, we had a few publishers saying, oh, that, the Titanic game doesn't sound complex enough for them. So some will want complex games, some won't. So, for example, if we pitch the Crooked Crown, this is a lightweight 20-minute game that I probably could explain all the rules in 5 minutes. Whereas my Devilish Deaths game, there's no way I could explain all the rules in 5 minutes. I just have to give an overview. But because murder mystery is such a strong theme, they know what it is. They know what it is. What they want to know is why my game is different from all the other murder mystery games. That's basically what you're trying to do. You're trying to convince them that it's like other murder mystery games because there's a market for that. So you want a murder mystery game in your lineup, but equally, here's the hook. Here's the differences. So you kind of I'm going to focus on that. Now, my one is that you get a board and you get cards. Now, the board is neutral. It's just spaces on a board. The actual cases all run through cards. So I'm going to suggest that you have 4 cases in the base box, and then the expansions. If the game does really well, then you release mini expansions that are just the cards that work into the board system. And it's as simple as that. And also, with future expansions, so at the moment, all the cases are set in the 1920s. I could have a expansion that is set in a spaceship in the year 5050. and and you're all playing alien detectives. You're all aliens that are solving, maybe a human crime, like you've come across a human spaceship, and humans have been killed, and you're alien detectives trying to work out who killed them and what and how. So I can brand the expansions any genre, any time period. I could have a medieval, like Brother Cadfile, a medieval murder mystery as one of the expansions, but it will fit nicely onto the board. So that is my selling point, I believe. I've created a murder mystery system that then they can make money on expansions in the future. Are your games on Board Game Arena, please? They look interesting. Well, Roslyn, I've only just found out about Board Game Arena. So no is the answer. I'm sorry, no. So when Kedrick and I play test games together, he lives all the way up the country. He used to live near me, but he moved. So we now put them all on Tabletop Simulator, and we play test them together like that. But there's not proper digital editions yet. However, I must remember that and talk to the publishers to say, is it worth doing? So thank you for reminding me of that. Roslyn's I'm a colossal nerd. I think we all are at heart, aren't we? I've been on it for like 11 years or something. Oh, wow. So you were right in at the early of that. Yeah. Or Iron Monkeys trying to solve, yes, Dyspeptic of Kin, the Inkpot Monkey. Exactly. It'd be great to do a game with... So I've got a book out called Of Magic and Monkeys, and I created these little flying iron monkeys. And I do think there's a board game in there where you each play little flying iron monkeys. But yeah, the thing is though, Martha, I have to be careful not to cross IPs. So I can't really put Edra into other IPs because then it gets a bit messy with copyright reasons. But yeah, I could create an Inkpot Monkey game. Or flying iron monkeys. Anyway, it's been lovely to chat to you guys, as always. And hopefully, if you're a creative person yourself, you get something out of this. I know we ramble off about other things as well, but that's part of the fun. You certainly helped me with my project as well, because just by talking about your project to somebody other than your family... Because sometimes when I talk to my family, their eyes just glaze over. So it's nice to talk to people that are into your kind of thing, and it's a good sounding board. So yeah, I must remember that. What's it called? Board Game Arena. Yeah, I found out about that at my games club the other night. So there's definitely potential. The thing with the Crooked Crown, though, the Crooked Crown is a game of bluff. So I don't know how well this would work as a digital version. But certainly Guildlands, because they've got Carcassonne as a digital version, so Guildlands would definitely lend itself as a digital version for that. So there you go. And the other game, very quickly, that I've been working on, but it's not visually very exciting at the moment, is The Wonky Wand. It is a sequel, or a sister game, set in the same universe as The Crooked Crown. So we're actually developing that at the moment. Anyway, I've been rambling on for far too long. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jam. Thank you, Lirin. Thank you, Rolo. Thank you. I'm just going down here now because there's only so much memory my brain has. Thank you, Sally, for joining us earlier. Thank you, Jam. I think that's everybody. Lirin. Thank you, Jonathan. Good luck. Yeah, so if you do want to back Jonathan's Kickstarter, I believe late pledges are still open. If you want to buy any of other Jonathan's game books, check out his own website, or you can check out on Amazon. But check out his own website, which is www.jonathangreenauthor.com or .co.uk. I never remember which. But check it out. Just put Jonathan Green Author into Google. I'm sure his page will come up. There it is. Go to .com. He's a .com boy. Check it out. You can buy all of his game books there. You are more than welcome, Jonathan. And the next live stream, I normally have it handy, but I forgotten to put it on there. We are doing Wednesday 7 p.m. It is another live stream of a game book, and this time it is part 8. Can I count? Part 8 of Ian Livingstone's fighting fantasy book, The Dungeon on Blood Island. It's the latest fighting fantasy book as well. We are so close to winning, I think, on that one. Take care, everybody. And remember, may your thieving never be caught. Well, unless you're not a thief. Well, no, but even... I'm backing myself into a moral dilemma there. Take care, everybody. And, yes, may the Lord cry bless you and your children always. See you later.